Elva, small daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Felix Feller, fell through the showcase in the Preston Brothers store basement. Her hand was badly cut. Dr. Holder performed an operation and completed several stitches on the wound. Big activities were held at the Opera House on Thursday evening. It was one screen from start to finish. Those starring included Elva Feller. That's a good one, right?
Well, I was down there going to school, you know. I graduated from high school, and I was down there going to Henniger's Business College, and he came over from his mission and looked me up.
Yeah.
And I just walked home from school, and I was living in this apartment where I was taking care of this kid for this guy. And I opened the door, and there stood Tom.
Yeah.
He looked so neat. He was so dapper. I thought. And you know, I met a few kids down there going to school that just didn't measure up.
Right.
And I thought to my time, I thought right then, I think I'm going to marry that guy.
Yeah.
November 16th, we were married. So see,
That was
I worked kind of fast.
Yeah?
You were
serious about that, huh?
The time she had another date was the time that he came up on the train and surprised her.
Oh, okay.
And she had another date.
I had a boyfriend in the Western. See, I was out of school, and I was school for the summer. And I had a date.
Now we're hearing all the dirt.
And then he come up on the weekend, and I said, well, Tom, I got a date. He said, you break it or else. And so he drove me right
Did he
up
say it that way, seriously?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he drove me up to this kid's house. I got out of the car, and I walked in, and he was home. His name was Ren Colford. And I said, Ren, I'm sorry, Tom came from Salt Lake, and I'll have to break our date. Okay. That was it. And then his mother died shortly after that, and you know, I went to his mother's funeral. He would not speak to me. He would not speak.
Where in the world can my lover be?
Well, then he owned a dairy.
Yeah, then we had
they owned a dairy
Then they owned a dairy.
during the war, right?
Right.
Right. Then they owned
And
a
that
dairy.
could be not a war. Because we had to sell, we couldn't sell any cream, we couldn't sell any butter, we couldn't sell any of that kind of stuff. It all had to go out to the army base.
It's come and gone away from Paris or Rome, but I wanna go home. Maybe surrounded by a million people, I still feel all alone. Just wanna go home. Oh, I miss you, you know. And I've been keeping all.
Oh, you mean the speed bump story?
Oh, yes.
You're talking about the speed bump story?
We used to call her Barney Oldfield.
Yeah. These kids know I hit a speed bump once. Made him promise he wouldn't tell Grandma.
It was hard to keep a secret because all the top of our heads were bleeding.
Another aeroplane, another another sunny place. I'm lucky, I know, but I wanna go home. I got to go home. Let me go home. I'm just too far from where you are. I wanna come home. Just like I'm living someone else's life. It's like I just stepped outside when everything was going right. And I know just why you could not come along with me. This was not your dream, but you always believed in me. Another winter day has come and gone away in either Paris or Rome, and I wanna go home. Let me go home. And I'm surrounded by a million people. I still feel alone. Let me go home. Oh, I miss you, you know. Let me go home.
I used to pray that if I'm not supposed to marry him, please let something happen that I won't marry him. Nothing happened, so it was okay. It was okay.
You need to make sure it was the right one, right?
Yeah. I didn't want to make a mistake.
Well, I don't think he did.
I'm coming back home.